Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Dialar's Twi'lek Tactics. So in this video, we're going to be doing an Eternal Evolution character deep dive. None other than a Triple S assassin named Bailey Hudson. Now, Bailey Hudson is one of the more rare characters in the game, given the fact that the only way for you to get him is to save up 700 limited and advanced tickets for a recruitment event, which takes a long time if you're free to play, or you drop $100 and you just buy a copy straight out, and then you just level them up with gene hybrids. So we're going to be covering Bailey Hudson today. We're going to go over his kit. We're going to go over his gear recommendations. We're going to show you where you can use him. We're going to show some video footage of him in action. Very cool intro. The man with the shades, which I'm copying his look. So, he is very, very good. Especially the earlier you can get him. So, he is very, 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 very OP in the early game. Even in the late game, if you put him on an arena team, people gotta play around him. Like, a lot of people will just mirror match a Bailey Hudson because they don't really know how to counter him. Especially, but it's funny because now we have so many counters, which we have the... Anpu, I think, is directly countering him. They tried to put some counter abilities in Bada's kit, but it didn't seem to work. So, very, very good. Very, very worth it character. You definitely want him in your rosters, so I do recommend you save up those limited and advanced tickets and wait for a recruitment event. If you don't know what a recruitment event is, it rotates every 2 weeks. So there's a recruitment event, and then there's a military might. The military might's just whale fest. The only way really to progress on that is to spend money. But recruitment event is easy enough. All you have to do is, if you start on week 1, I think it'll take you like a month and a half to get enough tickets if you save all your limited and your advanced tickets, even though you're going to want to spend some advanced. But he is very, very, very good. He's an assassin. He pairs really well with the Pain Rune prototype and Gautier. He's just clutch. Right? Like, if you don't have him and Leo, you're not climbing too high in arena. Although, there are caveats to that. So, let's just dive right into his kit, ladies and gentlemen. And, yeah. Let's take a peek.
Bailey Hudson. As you see, not a lot of choice for assassins. Bailey Hudson. We're going to go straight to the gear, guys. So, this man is the epitome of a damage dealer. And as such, you really want to build him so that he has around, I'd say 70% crit, 65 to 70% crit rate, and then as much crit damage as you can fit in. Possibly, I might be tempted to say no hero sets, maybe go overload sets, but I did try to give him a little bit of attack as well, hence the reason why you see I have one overload set, one sun signet set, and one hero set on the hands. You got to do what you got to do. You got to tweak all your stats in order to get that 65 to 70% crit rate. So as you see, my gloves have a crit rate primary percent primary, but the secondaries is crit damage reduction, which is important because you are going to be using them in arena, and attack. The head is attack percent primary, and I got a crit damage +1 secondary, because you want to get as much crit rate and crit damage and attack. So those are the stats you're looking for. I got attack primary boots. As you see, I got crit damage on the secondary and extra attack +2, which isn't a whole bunch, but it is something. And then boot, or the legs, which are overload, I got attack and crit damage and crit rate. It sucks though that the X defense rolled +2. And on the chest, I got attack +2, damage reduction, and I got a crit damage, which is okay. And then on the weapon, as you see, I got 2 crit damage, very, very juicy, crit rate +1, and attack 4%. So you kind of get the picture of how to gear this guy. You want to gear him you got to hit that crit rate benchmark first, and then load up on as much crit damage and attack as possible. All right. So now let's actually look at his kit before we dive further into Bailey Hudson. So his ultimate inflicts 2 slashes on all enemies in a small area, dealing 100% attack damage. So basically, he's going to do this little shadow step AoE type whack, 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 whack in a small area. You can direct it. Bailey Hudson is immune to all damage and debuffs while he's doing that. So if they let off an AoE, maybe you can time it. Maybe you can put him on manual and time his ultimate so that he can avoid damage. Say like Terradome, right? Whoa, how do I pronounce that? We'll just say Jujitsu. Passive. After 1 second, when there are no enemies within close range, Bailey Hudson enters assassination state and cannot be located by the enemy. Assassination state lasts until it is removed after 1 attack. So after 1 second, if he can't hit anybody, he's going to basically cloak, and he's going to move, and then you can't attack him until he does a single attack, right? So there's a little bit of damage immunity in there. The talent modifier in the assassination state, the damage dealt is increased by 22%. Basic skill. During the battle, Hudson Bailey does not move, right? He doesn't actually traverse across the map. Every 15 seconds, he'll mark the enemy with the lowest HP. The marked enemy will take 8% more damage. 1 second after casting the mark, he will move behind that enemy and start attacking them, right? At the start of battle, Bailey Hudson casts a mark once, and there can only be 1 marked enemy on the battlefield at once. The mark can be stacked up to 3 times, meaning they can take up to plus 24% more damage. So Bailey, you won't see him walking. He'll just mark a target, move to behind that target, and start killing it. And that's what he does. It is a displacement skill, which he can be paired with Gautier. Keep that in mind. And the talent modifier, every time Bailey Hudson casts track, which I'm assuming that means mark, right? Because this game does have some language issues. Every time he casts it, his attack will increase by 8%, which lasts until the end of battle. So it stacks and sustains, and it can increase up to 40% attack. So that is his attack. So this is why when I went over his gear, I do like to have an attack set in there, because that's what ramps up, right? Dig Heart, another common or basic skill. Bailey Hudson hits the target with a fatal blow, causing 360% attack damage. I don't know if that should say if he hits him. It's weird. Does he only use this when he's going to kill somebody, or will he use this and they just call it a fatal blow? Each time Bailey Hudson flashes, the cooldown, and flashes, meaning, I think that's his ultimate, right? Is that his ultimate? I think that says flash. It says a slashing period. This one, he's not flashing, he's marking, and then there it is, right there. Bailey Hudson, he'll mark, and then he will flash behind the enemy. So there's where flash is. It's whenever he does his displacement movement. Each time Bailey Hudson flashes, so moves behind an enemy, the cooldown of this skill is cleared. So he can flash behind an enemy, and he's going to pick the one with the lowest HP, and then he's going to do his big 360% hit, right? Talent effect. When killing an enemy, the damage dealt this time has 10% life steal. So he will gain a little bit of health back when he kills an enemy with this skill. His passive, Tengu Faith. When Bailey Hudson attacks the same enemy, each attack increases his crit rate by 5%, up to 15%. So if he's at 65, you're going to be at 80. If he's at 75, he's going to be at 70. You get the point, right? Which is why don't take him up any higher than 85, because then you're going to be overcapping crit rate. And he also increases crit damage by 10%, which will stack up to 30% crit damage. However, when Bailey Hudson changes his target, the increased crit rate and crit damage are removed, and Shadowless Slash will not trigger this effect. So Shadowless Slash, so his ultimate does not trigger this effect because it hits multiple times. So, right, so those multiple hits will not stack this his crit rate or crit damage. Track will refresh immediately when the target marked by track dies. Track was this one where he's marking somebody. So track will refresh immediately when the target marked by track dies. So I do believe track says every 15 seconds, right? No, so this way, this stipulates that if the target dies, it will just, no matter what, if you're 5 seconds in, it will just immediately refresh it. Or Bailey Hudson enters assassination state. Every time Bailey Hudson loses 30% HP, he will trigger Hidden once, up to 2 times per battle. So he'll trigger Hidden up to 2 times a battle when he hits 30% HP. What is Hidden? Bailey escapes from the combat area, flashes to a safe position on the edge of the battlefield, and gains 15% lifesteal. So basically, when he gets low health, he's going to escape, gains some health steal for 5 seconds. He's going to come back and he's going to do some attacks, right? It's basically just a way for him to mitigate damage. The talent reads, increase the crit rate and crit damage. Increased crit rate and crit damage are reduced by 2 stacks instead of cleared when switching targets. So he will carry over a little bit of that crit damage and crit rate increases when switching targets, versus if you don't have it, it just clears. So basically, he's an attack monster, true assassin, flashing behind people, escaping battle, shadow step, no dash, but shadow step, escape, etc., etc., etc. His exclusive, as you see, I have mine at 30. This is one of the characters I'm going to recommend you take this guy to 30. So when you activate it, when Bailey Hudson's HP drops below 30% for the first time, he'll also gain assassination. The effect continues even after his attack that he makes after he does his little escape. The duration of assassination this is the 10, the 10 level. The duration of assassination is increased to 4 seconds. When Bailey Hudson inflicts damage to an enemy with a lower attack, he inflicts true damage equal to 32% of his attack. So very, very, very important. That's a good one. He's also going to inflict true damage, but if he has to be attacking somebody with a lower attack. At 20, the 20 mark is the duration of assassination is now increased to 5 seconds. And then at 30, the duration of assassination goes up to 7 seconds. And when Bailey Hudson inflicts damage to an enemy with lower attack, he inflicts true damage equal to 64% of his attack. Keep in mind, if mine is 67,000, he's going to be dealing roughly another 30,000 attack from his exclusive as true damage. And true damage, if it's like other games, it disregards defense. So that's Bailey Hudson. That's his gear. That's his recommended gear, and there it is one more time. As you see, again, may get him up to 65 to 70% crit rate, and then stack up the crit damage. I have crit rate, but you can run crit damage primary as long as you have the crit rate from other sources. Attack primary head, attack primary boots. And now his talents, really quickly. As you see, this is one of the few characters I have every single talent maxed, because he's that good. Do them all. You want this guy to survive because he's going to be your primary source of damage. Now, where will you use this guy? Well, first of all, let's talk about where you get him. So, I do not have a recruitment event up because I have military expansion. Now, the thing is that the military expansion goes for a week, and then the recruitment event goes for a week, and it's in tandem. It goes back and forth. You need to save up 70 tickets between your limiteds and your advanced, or not 70, 700. So if you want to get a free copy of him, you have to save up 700 combined limited and advanced tickets, and then you can get him from a recruitment event. Now, once you have one copy, you can use gene hybrids which you buy from the limited banners, as you see right there, sold out. You can buy gene hybrids. You need, 8 copies of a hero to get them to immortal. So you're going to need 7 after that first free Bailey, which is really going to be what? That's you get 2 you get roughly 4 a month, so that's 2 months. That's 2 months. So I recommend, or what I do is I actually use my limited tickets, but I save my advanced tickets for recruitment events. But keep in mind, I get them at a little bit higher clip. So if you do use your limiteds, you can save up gene hybrids. So then by the point you get to a recruitment event and you have 700 advanced, you can buy that, get that first free copy of Bailey, and then use all your gene hybrids that you've accumulated on him, although that's going to take longer if you don't spend some limited tickets. But I do recommend spend some limited tickets because you want to get the SSS heroes that come into the game. So that is how you get him. He is a little bit difficult to get. If you are a spender as well, this is how I actually got my first copy. I didn't get it from a limited event. You can buy copies of him in your military rank store for 100 bones, which I don't recommend doing, but I did do. You see, I bought 1 of them, only 1. I got my first copy from there, and then I used gene hybrids on him to get him to immortal. So that is how you get Bailey Hudson. Where are you going to use this guy? Oh my God, you're going to use him everywhere. Like if we look here, show you my DISA team, running him up front, right? Really big damage dealer. Pterodome, running him behind Mazrani, so he gets the attack buff. Huge damage dealer. And this is the commander that you want to pair him with, is Gautier, because he is a displacement character. So every time he flashes to a marked location, he's going to displace himself, and he is going to get a shield equal to 30% of his HP for 5 seconds, right? And it's going to increase his damage of his next skill. Shields are important because he's a damage dealer and he's squishy. And you want to pair him with Pain Rune. Why? Because when an allied assassin loses a shield, which if you pair him with Mazrani and Gautier, he's going to be getting shields all over the place, it explodes and does AoE damage and stuns. So those are the prototypes and the commanders that are going to pair well with him. But yes, Pterodome. I use him in Pterodome. Now, I do not use him in Sincero Marsh because he does have a tendency to flash to the back where the eggs are and then get stuck in Poison Pool. So he's not great for Sincero Marsh. Usable, maybe. Not great, not ideal. Oh, where else? Everywhere. You're going to use him. I can't show you my Ancient Altar team, but I run him on the last boss, or the main boss of Ancient Altar. Soul Mine, obviously you're going to use him everywhere. The Terran, Faction Abyss, you can use him there. You're going to use him everywhere in Arena. As you see my Arena team, you will not see him on my defense right now because I'm trying out a different defensive team. But I do run him on the offense. So I think, can I click this? There we go. So there is the offensive team I run. So the 2 Vanguards, 2 healers, and then him in the back. And that is a very, very effective end game meta arena team. That's solo arena. Galactic Arena, if we look at my defenses, I run him with assassins, or a assassin, right? So I run him with Gautier because he's going to, he's not going to stun, or yes, he does. No, he does not stun. He does not stun without Pain Rune, but he will. This seems to work okay. These are the teams I run. So there's my Pain Rune. It's with Leo, because you always want to pair Prism Amulets and Pain Rune with Leo, but that's a totally different thing. So I do run him in both of my arena teams. It looks like I just got bumped out to 4th. Actually, I was in 2nd. Karaz and Beardy. both knocking me out. Well, game on, boys. Game on. All right, well, we'll do that after this video. So yeah, you're gonna use him everywhere, guys. Soul Mine, Chapter, Elite Campaign. You're gonna use him in Twilight on the Assassin Bonds. You're gonna use him everywhere. He will fall off as you reach, I don't know, 9 million combat power. He'll become a little bit lesser effective. But until then, he is just going to be your money character. If you can get this guy early, he is going to do bad things to your account. And as bad, I mean good, because bad is good, right? So yes, Bailey Hudson is a frickin' monster. And yeah, that's it for Bailey Hudson. Guys, if you made to the end of this video, put lightsaber down in the comments, because they are blatantly picking off or copying a Sith lightsaber in that. I know it's an energy sword, but it sure looks like a lightsaber to me. So put lightsaber in the comments. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, put them down there as well. I read every comment. And until next time, guys, cheers, peace, bye-bye.